get this right. You want to put a toll booth on the Asura gates? Am I getting this correct? Is that right? What makes you think the council's going to agree to this sort of thing?
Basically, it's foolproof. I've set up a warp core tachyon emission field in the transducer, which will suck out 1 copper penny every time they use the Asura gate. Isn't that just awesome? Today on the Geekasaurus, we check out the Asura. It seems that every MMO has to have their little tiny race, and in World of Warcraft they had the gnomes. Well, the Asura are a little bit like gnomes, but they have huge egos. Not saying that their egos are completely unjustified. They set up the Asura gate system, which is the system that you're going to use in Guild Wars 2 to go from point A to point B. And also the waypoint system. Without the work from these little guys, you would not be able to get from point A to point B in this game any other way than running, which would take forever. So let's go ahead and give them a little bit of props, and let them be a little bit arrogant, because they did make the game much more awesome. Well, the developers did, but the Asura are the ones who set all the stuff up, right? So let's give them a little bit of thumbs up for that. While the small races in other games are mostly just tinkerers, these guys are tinkerers on steroids. They're quite intelligent. Matter of fact, they're geniuses, and they look down upon every other race and call them Buka. Buka basically means idiot or fool, because they look down upon every other race as being quite dumb. The character creation for the Asura is quite comprehensive, and you'll be able to choose many different body features, ear styles, eye styles, body shapes, markings. The only thing that seems a little bit limited for the Asura, at least for the males, is their hairstyles. You only get a choice of 9 different hairstyles, one being completely bald. You can take them anywhere from being ultra disgusting and ugly, slimy looking creatures, all the way up to something that looks like Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. So super cute and cuddly. I'll demonstrate that right now. See, he has sort of cute eyes, and he's moved into some disgusting, evil looking eyes. And of course their faces, they can look like this, which they are gnome-like, all the way up to evil demons. One thing they don't really show in this is that when the Asura get excited, their ears stand straight up, which is kind of funny, of course, but it does change their look a little bit. So if you pick a certain type of ear that's really floppy, when it stands straight up, you kind of look a little bit like a donkey, but that's okay. I kind of breeze right through the character creation in this because I was just looking forward to starting to play, but you could probably spend a couple hours doing your character creation if you really got down to the nitty-gritty and were trying to get every little detail correct. For those who might not have played Guild Wars 1, the main Asura that you encounter in Guild Wars 1 is a creature called Vekk, V-E-K-K, and he becomes a hero in your party, and he will follow you around throughout your Guild Wars 1 adventures. So being able to play an Asura was sort of a no-brainer for ArenaNet. I'm kind of glad that they brought them in. Even though they're cute and cuddly and all that, they are still quite fun to play. They designed them to be sort of comical, which makes sense. When they run and they do a jump, they sort of fall forward a little bit, like their heads are too heavy, and they throw their arms around, and it looks like they're going to fall on their face, but they catch themselves. So when you're doing your jumping puzzles, it's always sort of like, I'm going to fall off. And it's just like with everything else in Guild Wars 2, I started off not expecting to play them in release, and the more and more I played with my Asura, the more I really did want to play with them in release. So they kind of grow on you. If you're kind of a person who thinks, oh, they're just too cute and I'm not going to bother with them, you might want to give them a second chance. So this about wraps up the Asura male character creation. As you can see, I'm just dyeing my armor here at this point. Let's move on to the female character creation. The Asura females, you'll notice, are pretty much the same as the males. You'll see that they have a bit different body shape, but not by much. They don't look as childlike as characters from Terra, but the females are a bit hard to distinguish from the males, other than their hairstyles and minor things like their hips being a little bit wider than the males. The females, however, can look a little bit cuter. as you can see by some of the really cool hairstyles, and they do have a gentler look to their face. Okay, at this point I'm going to let you guys watch the character creation for the females, and then after that it will go into the story, the customized story that is created during character creation. I'm going to let you watch that. I'm not going to have any music playing in the background, and I won't talk, so you can watch the story. Now realize that each story is individually crafted for you. I think there's probably close to 36 different possible outcomes for the story, so it's different for every person, pretty much. I'll be back after the cinematic story is over, and I will give you my wrap up on what I think of the Asura as a race. And I'm back! Well, what are my overall views of the Asura? I think that they're a fun race. I think that they have some cute aspects to them, but they also can be a little evil looking at the same time. On top of that, they're really fun to play as far as the way they move, their gestures. In WVW and PvP, I think they have a little bit of an advantage. If somebody is not tab targeting and they're trying to click, having a small character always helps in that situation because you can move around, you're very fluid, and you can jump around quite a bit, so it makes you very hard to hit. My biggest complaint about the Asura is their main capital. It's called Radasum, and it's basically a huge cube that they built out of some other technology that was around the area, and they kind of showed off how awesome they are. Well, it's a maze, and it really is a maze. I spent, I don't know, 20 minutes one day trying to get out of the place, and I couldn't find the Asura gates because they were on a different level, and I went all the way to the very bottom of Radasum trying to get out, thinking, well, if I get to the bottom of the cube, I can go out that way. No, the gates for the Asura gates for Radasum are up on the very top level. But I didn't know that at the time, so I spent a lot of time running around, and so it was quite confusing. And I thought, geez, for a capital city to be so puzzle-like and maze-like, it fits the race, but it makes it kind of unplayable. So that was my main complaint about the Asura. Other than that, I will be playing them in release. I am playing an Elementalist right now, and that will be what you'll see all of my WVW videos later on, will be with my Asura Elementalist. So I love them as an Elementalist. I think they're great. It fits their storyline being an Elementalist, so overall for me this is a must-play race, and I will definitely be playing them in release. So please subscribe to my videos. I have some more stuff coming up. I'm going to be talking WVW later on this week. So until next time, as always, I say, see ya!